Hey there guys, it's Salis, and welcome back to Retro Wednesdays. This week we're looking at an absolute classic. This is Streets of Rage. Obviously I'm playing this single player. It has got 2-player support and it is co-op, and this was actually one of the first co-op games I remember playing with my dad, and it was actually really good. As you can see, you can choose from 3 characters, so there'll always be one left out, which is a shame. Adam, Axel, and Blaze. And if you look at their stats, it tells you exactly how good you're going to be in different regards. Adam is slower, but has a lot of power and a good jump. Axel, a lot of power, a lot of speed, terrible jump. Blaze, low power, good jump and good speed. I always play as Adam because he is super overpowered. And you'll see exactly why. Now this is on normal difficulty. And one thing I'm going to say, first of all, is this is probably one of the best designed brawlers I've ever seen in my life. I think they realised how stupid the premise was. 3 rogue ex-cops decide to clean up the streets by punching dudes. And I think this game has it nailed down because they realise it's a stupid idea, let's just have fun with it. The result is this. I'll show you one of the throws in a second. First of all, back throw. Second of all, you can actually jump right over them and throw them backwards. Because who needs a spine? Enemy variety in this game is also really good. And they have the same attacks you do, as you saw there. So it's really quite balanced between the player and the enemy. You heal up by smashing things and taking the fruit therein. Occasionally, you'll come across one of these, a weapon. In this case, a bottle. Because when you're engaging in a street fight, a broken bottle is probably the most commonly used weapon. And it works much like a knife. In fact, the knife actually does the same damage as the bottle. It's just that the bottle gets the better animation. But everyone wants this weapon, the pipe. Reason being, it increases your range significantly. And it can 2-shot dudes. Come on, take a pipe to the face. They introduce a lot of enemies very quickly. And we've just had our first new enemy show up, the ninja. And I like the fact that it's a martial arts based combat system and they have ninjas. It's something you kind of expect. Now, I've just lost my pipe, but the bats does the same damage, only slightly less range. Now, as you can see, you can actually throw the enemy into the enemy, which is very fun to do. I love killing them with their own mates. You have to wait for this obnoxious little go arrow to show up every time because it makes sure you've cleared out an area first. Unfortunately, it's a little slow to respond sometimes, especially if you're playing as Adam because he kills things so quickly. Like that. And just so it's not punching dudes, there's girls in this game. Girls in fetish outfits with whips. Someone at that development team needs to get laid. Now, this is another health item. It's the turkey. It's a full health pickup. And it normally shows up right before a boss fight. So, when you find one, try not to take any damage. And this brings me on to my next favourite thing about this. The bosses. They are huge. They are absolutely massive. All of them are huge. But it's the only time you're ever allowed to press the A button. Because the A button does this. You call the police, who approach you with a bazooka. And you'll notice the boss is still moving. Because apparently that's how this game works. If you're playing in 2-player, each character has a different police weapon. Player 1 always gets the bazooka, which does that cool ring of fire thing. And player 2 gets the minigun, which creates a series of small explosions all over the place. And it is fun. Now, this is my favourite level in the game. Not just because of the stuff that floats around, like the litter and stuff, but there's a lovely game I play on this, and I hope you'll join me in it. It's called Spot the Glitchy Wall. See, this was released in the days before Day 1 patching, because obviously it was on cartridge. So if something was glitchy, that glitch will always exist. Now, the wall I'm on about, you will see shortly. There's a poster on these bricks, and on one particular screen... Ooh, pepper spray, that's handy. And on one particular screen, it starts to glitch out. Oh, I'm getting my ass handed to me now. This is why I like Adam. His jump kick is huge and powerful. But yeah, if you watch those posters on the back wall, you will spot my favourite glitch in this game. See, there it is, there's the glitchy wall. Hooray! Spot the glitchy wall complete. Right, I need a pumpkin. There we are. I know they're supposed to be apples or something, but they look like pumpkins. Now, you're about to see one of the worst problems with this game. If there's two weapons occupying the same space, because your pickup button is your main attack button, if you try and attack anyone, you will end up switching weapons rather than attacking. This is something they kind of fixed in Streets of Rage 2, which we'll get to next week. But it wasn't quite fixed entirely. I mean, I think Streets of Rage 1 really set the benchmark for what Streets of Rage could be, and then Streets of Rage 2 perfected the formula. There's the glitchy wall again. Hopefully I'll get to show you the boss of this level, because I love him. I absolutely love him. He's hilarious. Before the end of this video. So, let's try and power through, shall we? Ah, my pipe! Fear the wrath of Adam and his pipe. Ha ha ha! Oh, I want to pipe you. There, have some pipe. See ya. Also, you'll notice that enemies do not pick up their weapons if they drop them. Again, this was something that was addressed in Streets of Rage 2 and 3. If an enemy finds a weapon, it can pick them up occasionally. But only occasionally. You made me lose my pipe, asshole. Away with you. Now I'm gonna die here. If I'm not careful. Now, these jugglers are evil. The items they're juggling vary. One of them juggles fire, this guy. And the other guy, who has exactly the same model, juggles, I'm not kidding you, anvils. See, look, there's the anvil guy. Now, I found Adam's jump kick can kind of chew through most of that shield. Like that. Not so much with the anvil guy. Because you've got to get those down before they get their anvils back up, because it acts like a shield, like I said. Now this is Freddy Krueger. Naturally, we call in the police. Because when rogue cops are on the duty, that's what they do. They call in the real police to deal with it. Now, Freddy, unfortunately, has a massive range as well. And finger razors which cut you to ribbons. Like that. But, fortunately, this game's very forgiving in that every time you die, you get another police. Obviously, this is not a sustainable tactic, but it's fun to do. Come here, Freddy. Give me that knife. No, I want my knife. Yes, I shall throw it at you. Yeah, the throw command in this is also really off. Occasionally, if there's an enemy on the same horizontal plane as you, then you'll throw it, but otherwise you'll just stab them. Occasionally, though, this doesn't work, and you end up throwing it when they're 2 feet away. Again, in Streets of Rage 2, this was addressed, but even then it was still a bit janky. You had to press, what was it? B and C at the same time to throw with the directional button you want to throw it in. And it became really tricky. And here we are, round 3. We've earned ourselves a trip to the beach. But I'm going to leave it here this week. Because, what can I say about Streets of Rage? It's a classic for a reason. It's got some of the best design, it's got some of the best music I've ever heard on the Genesis. The sound effects are a little bit janky, but that's to be expected with a 16-bit game. The music is memorable. The design of each stage is beautiful and distinctive. I mean, I remember there's one level I like to call the HMS Implausible, because you're on a ship and you can still call the police to drive in. Don't ask me why. And there is one level which is literally just an elevator, but you can kind of excuse that, because all the other levels before it was so great. I mean, this go thing is a little annoying, especially if you're a bit quick. But this game knows how ridiculous it is, and it uses it to its advantage. I mean, I'm beating women with a baseball bat. Women in fetish gear with whips. I don't know what went through the designer's head, but it was really funny. So, thank you for watching this week's Retro Wednesday's look at Streets of Rage. Until next week, give me that pipe. I've been Salas. I've been hitting dudes with pipes. And I will see you next time.